Well, welcome everyone. We're so excited to have you here. What a beautiful day. Happy International Women's Day for a female-led nonprofit. This is the best day we could have picked for ribbon cutting. Hi, I am Sharon Lyon, the Executive Director of Dignity Moves, and I cannot tell you how wonderful it feels to be here with all of our partners. So just a friendly reminder, this site is an active site, meaning we have residents on the other side of the fence. Please stay on this side and do not lean on the temporary railing back there. Just a little bit of housekeeping. So welcome to the Phase 1 opening of this amazing pilot project. We started this effort last year when I joined the Dignity Moves organization, and when Elizabeth and her friends at YPO invited me to join their efforts to turn this concept into an operational, realized project, I was super eager and excited to do this. The thought that we could use prefabrication technology in order to add alternative new housing tools into our community was so exciting to me. And this is possible only made by all of our wonderful partners here. So Dignity Moves very quickly is a statewide effort. We are so excited to be bringing on our first pilot here in San Francisco. But check us out, we're in Santa Barbara, Sonoma County, and Alameda County as well, and many more as Elizabeth works on our expansion plan. So we began the construction of 33 Gough actually just around the new year, and we are so pleased with the support and help of our operator here, Urban Alchemy, who has helped us actually already move people in, giving them the option to essentially transfer from the tent site that this was into the shelter, the structured buildings that you see on the other side of the fence, where people can stand up straight in their own private space, where they have a door and furniture and they can keep their belongings dry. That is exactly why we're working hard to get this project online as quickly as possible. So I want to start the program off by celebrating our stellar team. Oh my gosh, we have such an amazing, large team of partners. Many of which I actually had to pay quite handsomely when I was on the private sector. But you know what, when we called them to action, they were all so amazingly generous with their time and their resources and their talents. They just got to work with us with basically not very much more than a vision. And here we are a couple months later, and people are already living in these units. So to start this thank you list off, bear with me please, Swinnerton Builders, they are the amazing union GC on this job. They have worked really hard to coordinate with us and with the city departments in order to move people into phases as early and as quickly as possible. They also are a wonderful group of folks who have an amazing sense of humor, so it's always fun to come on the job site. PAE, who's our MEP engineers, I think Christian is here representing. Thank you so much. Holland and Knight, our wonderful attorneys. Thank you so much, covering all of our attorneys' needs up and down the state. Dag & Kolb, structural engineer. We could not have made sure that this project was stable and safe and secure without your assistance. Brayer Electric in the electrical industry. Wow, thank you so much for stepping up and being a partner in this prefab project. We're definitely making history with them. Success Center. Thank you for sending your apprentices. We're so glad to be able to partner with you on this workforce training effort. This is a wonderful way to elevate our youth. MGC, our project support team. Boss Homes, the manufacturer of these amazing units. This is the first time in history that we've ever used these units, ever. So we're excited to showcase them. And of course, a very, very special thank you to our architecture team at Gensler. Without their countless hours, oh my gosh, we would not be able to bring this project to life. So most importantly is our pilot partnership actually with the city of San Francisco, with the HSH department. Thank you so much for providing the land and the operating dollars for this site. Thank you, Shireen. Tipping Point Community, thank you so much for being our cornerstone funder. You guys stepped up first. You always will have the bragging rights. Of course, Urban Alchemy, the operators here, your amazing staff for doing the hard work daily, building trust through a trauma-informed lens. Thank you so much. And Home First Services, thank you, Andrea, for being here, the owners of the units. So with the implementation support of many city departments, and I mean many, including DBI, DPW, Fire, we certainly are very glad to be working with you on this first of its kind project. We hassled a lot of people, primarily Dennis Oates with DPW and Jeff Buckley. Thank you so much again for your assistance. Innovation is hard, and innovation with so many cross-sector partners is even more challenging. But we are showing up in force as a community, and I believe that this is a strong commitment from our community to state that we are willing to work hard together to address our unhoused needs. And so thank you and welcome again for coming. And with that, I'm going to hand this over to our visionary and our founder, Elizabeth Funk. Thank you so much for bringing me onto this project. And here you are sharing your story.
Thank you, Sharon. And I'm going to echo all of her thanks to all of these incredible partners. It has been so heartwarming to see these companies and volunteers and everybody just so eager to be part of something new and this new pilot. And, you know, this has been such a dream. We started on this 18 months ago, trying to think about how we could address the unsheltered portion of our problem. And this is hopefully a new tool in the city's vast toolkit for addressing unsheltered homelessness. And I want to be clear that even though Dignity Moves only focuses on building these temporary interim type projects, it is one piece of a very complex set of solutions. And obviously, we need more permanent housing, permanent supportable housing, permanent affordable housing. And thankfully, we have a city that is really focused on that. And I want to commend our city partners who are tirelessly working to build more permanent housing, and there are lots of projects that are underway. I started my personal journey in addressing homelessness by joining the board of Glide's housing initiative when we built 2 buildings over in the Tenderloin. And so from personal experience, I know how complex and challenging and time-consuming those permanent supportive housing buildings are. I commend the people who are working on them because it takes a lot of people who are a lot smarter than I am to figure out those projects. But we decided that while the permanent housing is so critical, people need a place to come now. They need an interim stop where they can feel safe and can be sheltered while they're figuring out their permanent exits out of homelessness. And unfortunately, for many people who have fallen into homelessness, there's trauma associated with their situation. And a lot of them are not interested in going to a group shelter with bunk beds. I was told that, you know, they would go out to the encampments and tell somebody that there was a vacant bed available, and you might be lucky to get 1 out of 10 who are willing to go be in a group shelter. It's an important tool, but it doesn't work for everyone. And we are thrilled to say that 100% of the people who've been offered one of these rooms have accepted it. And so I want us to have this as one alternative and one tool in our toolkits. As I like to say, our streets can't be the waiting rooms. So Dignity Moves is focused on building interim housing, a place where people can come in off the streets and take a deep breath. In fact, my dad told me we should have named the organization A Deep Breath, because psychologically, when you have your own space and a door that locks, all sorts of things unlock for you. When you're on the streets and you're in survival mode and you're worried about getting raped or where your next meal is going to come from, you can't possibly effectively think about other solutions. So this is a place where people can come away from that trauma, take a deep breath, and then start working with the supportive services to help figure out what barriers are in their way to where they want to go. So using California's emergency building codes, we are able to build units that are to code, they are safe, but we can do them in really, really rapid time. Our partner Gensler partnered with Boss Homes to custom design this panel-based system that can be assembled, as Sharon said, really quickly and really cost-effectively. And then when a project is finished and the land needs to be returned to the owner, we can pick them up literally with a forklift and move them to a new location. So this project, the units themselves assembled are about $15,000 a room, but we're going to have 2 dining buildings. We have a computer lab. We're going to have obviously bathrooms and showers and all sorts of amenities, lots of offices for the support staff. So all in, this project is about $30,000 per room. We are incredibly grateful to our city partner, HSH, who has paid for the land lease and is paying for the ongoing supportive services, but mostly for their willingness to be innovative and try something new, because we need to bring Silicon Valley style innovative thinking to this problem. And it's going to mean experimenting, and it's going to mean trying new things to see what works and what doesn't. So I want to make a special thank you to Tipping Point, who very early on in this process came to me and said, let's do this, let's try something new. And they really had the vision, and obviously trying something new is scary. It's hard to get philanthropy to invest in something that isn't proven. And so Tipping Point's vision was so important in helping make this happen. I also want to thank Dignity Health and their Common Spirit initiative, who made a significant contribution to this. And Dignity Health understands that housing is one of the most important determinants of health. And it is important that our unhoused neighbors get inside where they can be safe and start to work on any medical challenges as well as emotional challenges. Lots of other donors to thank. I will spare you, but I'll do a shout out to the Ron Conway family, Pam and Larry Bear, thank you, First Republic Bank, Todd Co., and so many others. But I'm also going to say I have been so touched by the community rising up around this. I think we have all felt like homelessness is just insolvable. And we've become so frustrated, and we're quick to complain about it, right? And how much we hate seeing tents and how it inconveniences us. But people have a good heart, and it has been incredible to see people so eager to jump in and try to help support a solution. We have artists who painted all these beautiful murals. We had families come adopt a unit, so they're all custom designed, and everybody's been so eager to be a part of trying to contribute. So it gives me optimism. Unsheltered homelessness really can be solved if you offer a place where people want to go, and you get the community thinking positively about contributing. If we all work together, we really can end the crisis of unsheltered homelessness on our street. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for being here. And thank you for supporting this innovative new project. And with that, I want to introduce Sam Cobb, who has been, his organization, Tipping Point, has been obviously incredibly instrumental in helping make this happen. So thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I have the privilege today of introducing Mayor London Breed. But before I officially bring her up, I just want to say that projects like this are the reason that Tipping Point exists and the reason why we believe that you need philanthropic dollars. Not to invest in the things that work. That's what my partner, Mayor Breed, does. Invest in the things that work. After Tipping Point and philanthropy, de-risk them to show that they can be worked. And so we wouldn't be able to do this work without the partnership of not only Mayor Breed, but Shireen, who she will bring up later. So without further ado, I want to introduce the mayor of our city, the Honorable London Breed.
Thank you, and hi everyone. Thank you so much for being here for this grand opening. And I gotta say, you know, I'm excited about what this will mean for people's lives, but I'm also hopeful that we as a city can do a better job at getting more housing built in the first place and getting more people into housing in the first place than we are at getting things like this done. And even though this is needed all over San Francisco, what I look forward to the most is when we finally build housing on this site, what I'm looking forward to the most is the people of this community, that we can transition them into something permanent, not just at this site, but anywhere in San Francisco. And that's why I'm so excited to be here with partners like Tipping Point. Tipping Point and the work that they're doing to help us get access to housing all over San Francisco. And I gotta say, Sharon in particular, left a very, very nice, cushy job to join Dignity Moves with Elizabeth and to partner because she wanted to be a part of the solution. She wanted to bring her skill set to a place that would make an extraordinary difference. And I know that what we have here is part of the work that she is doing with Dignity Moves and will continue to do throughout San Francisco, because it can't just be one site. It has to be how we think about doing things in San Francisco and how we cut the bureaucratic red tape to get the work done. And this site initially, we were talking about housing, wasn't even talking about a temporary site. When Supervisor Kim was on the Board of Supervisors, we were pushing for housing development. Then it was going to become a navigation center. Then we're going to do the housing and leave it empty. Then the pandemic hit and we opened it up, and people who unfortunately were living on our streets, sleeping in tents, ended up in this site as a safe sleeping site. I work with Supervisor Haney and Supervisor Mandelman to make that happen. And here we are, the perfect site to try this program, which allows people to be a part of the communities that they want to be a part of. And I think that means something because, being a part of a community matters. It matters when you have people who support each other, who look out for one another, where you don't feel alone. And this will be a place where people will not feel alone. There'll be support, not just from Dignity Moves and from Tipping Point, but on site, one of my favorite organizations in San Francisco that has really taken the Tenderloin by storm, Urban Alchemy, has been an incredible partner. And I love you right back. And we also have another extraordinary organization that's been working in the Western Addition and other places in the community to help people transition to real career opportunities and get support. And I see Liz and the folks of the Success Center. Thank you all so much for being here. Because it's not just about a roof over your head. It's about opportunity. It's about knowing that people care about your livelihood and your well-being. It's about trying to help people become more self-sufficient. It's about a second chance. And this location at 33 Gough Street is a second chance. And so I want to really thank again Dignity Moves for their work and the partners, and Larry Bear is here, and I know Ron Conway and others contributed. When you ask many of these people for support for projects like this, they don't hesitate to say yes. And public-private partnerships, as you know, are very important. This city is so generous in general in terms of when we bring initiatives to people in the city and ask for support, the voters, oftentimes, they say yes. And because they said yes, this city over the next 2 years has committed $1 billion to help address homelessness throughout San Francisco. And part of that resources that we have with the city will be matched in some regards with philanthropy. And so we really, really appreciate, as I said, Dignity Moves and Tipping Point and all the work that they do. And from the city side, the person who's going to continue to work to help to implement these innovative ideas and make this happen and provide these places for folks is none other than Shireen Mcspadden, who's the director of the Office of Homelessness and Housing for the City and County of San Francisco. Shireen.
Good morning, everyone. I want to start by saying how much I hate going after Mayor Breed. She's such a wonderful speaker. And also, I feel like it's such a privilege to work for her. She is really dedicated to this issue, and we hear about it all the time. And she's always telling us, figure out new ways to do things and be innovative. And I think this is such a great example of how we can come together as San Franciscans and make something happen for people who are our most vulnerable people in San Francisco. And so I want to thank Dignity Moves and Home First and Success Center, Tipping Point, and everyone who's contributed to this effort, including my colleagues in the city. There have been a number of people who've worked on this and my own staff at HSH. this is a real opportunity for us to study something we haven't tried before and to understand how we can support, to provide dignity and privacy for people, but also provide services for them so that they can move on out of here and let somebody else move in, and they can get permanent housing and jobs and all of the, and reunited with families and all of the other things that we ourselves expect for ourselves. And so thank you so much to all the partners. I'm really excited to see how this works and continue some efforts like this in other parts of the city. So thanks much.
All right, so in my nerves, I realized I forgot two quick things. First of all, I neglected to thank Home First, who, we're a brand new organization. We only got our 501c3 status in November, this recent November, and so Home First not only served as our fiscal sponsor, but has agreed to come be a part of a project here in San Francisco. The first one north of where they work is in San Jose. So thank you very much for being a part of this, and they're owning the units. But the other thing that triggered in my mind when Mayor Breed was talking about cutting bureaucracy, I want to be really clear, this city rocks. This city, literally, all the departments came together in a round table and gave us feedback on our permits in 4 days, and we had these permits approved in less than 3 weeks. That's a historic first, and that really shows the commitment that this city has, and it should not go unrecognized. So thank you very much to our city partners.
See, I said I pestered them a lot, right? Well, so it's going to get a little chaotic here. I'm sorry, press. We're going to move this podium so that we can do the ceremonious ribbon cutting with the mayor. Is it okay if I shift this over there? Is it going to screw up anyone?